Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Dr. Adam Karievsky. I'm a naturopathic physician. I specialize in oncology here at City of Hope in Phoenix. And we're going to be doing a short, informative, more of an introductory talk about supplements, some which are good, some bad, some ugly, a little bit about. So let's go over some of the learning objectives. And also, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. You can put them in the chat. So we're going to be discussing the prevalence of the supplement use in the United States of America by adults, understanding some of the regulatory issues with supplements, including safety and effectiveness. We are going to talk about identifying potential herb-drug interactions and also some of the pharmacokinetics. So we'll go into some science here about drug and botanical interactions and what that really means. I will be going also over some micronutrient testing and also about resources. All right, so this is from the CDC, the percentage of adults who use dietary supplements. And this is, as we'll see, has been changing over the years. On the left side of this table, you'll see a percentage, and then on the bottom, you'll see either all men or women. And then the top portion, you'll see different colors of 20 years old and over, 20 to 39, 40 to 59, and 60 and over. So as you can tell, 60 and over adults in the United States are using the most supplements, women especially. And for all, they're the highest. So you're looking at a percentage almost of 74 to 75% and almost 80% for women who are 60 and older. As you go through all of these, men in general using a little bit lower, but still using quite a bit. And it changes over the age span. So whether you're 20 to 39 or 40 to 59, you can have a difference of population of how many supplements or how if they are using supplements. And then we get into also some of the number of dietary supplements are used by adults. So this slide's a little more confusing, but on the left you'll have a percentage, and on the bottom you'll have the ages again. And then on the right is where you'll see more of the number. So not only are 60 and over Americans using, as you can tell, about 25% of them are using 4 or more supplements. So that's the most. So as Americans are increasing in age, they're using more and more supplements that probably try to help with conditions or symptoms or medical issues they're having. So it can vary, as the 20 to 39-year-olds are not using as much. They're only using 0, maybe 1 or 2. So these percentages will change according to age, and also the number of supplements in general is changing according to age as well. The most common types of dietary supplements used by adults are also by age, but they're similar. So multivitamins and minerals are among the most common, whether you're younger, 20 to 39, or you're over 60. As you can tell as well, the percentage of older Americans are using more multivitamins. They're taking more vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids like fish oil, calcium, and B12 are the most common for them. For younger, similar, but they're also taking some botanicals more, as well as for 40 to 59-year-olds more botanicals as well. But in general, the multivitamin seems to be the most common of supplements, and then you get into more vitamin D or fish oil. And then this is a trend. So on the bottom here, this goes back to 2007, 2008, and the most recent is 2017 to 18. And you can see the percentages across the board are rising. So over time, over the past decade, the supplement use is across the board seems to be on the rise. So the summary of this, among US adults age 20 and over, 57.6% used any dietary supplement in the past 30 days, and use was higher among women than men. Dietary supplements use increased with age overall in both sexes and was highest among women age 60 and over, about 80.2%. The use of 2, 3, and 4 or more dietary supplements increased with age, while the percentage of adults not using any dietary supplements decreased with age. The most common, as we went over, were supplements used by all age groups, were a multivitamin, followed by vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acid supplements like fish oil. Also, again, from 2007 all the way to 2017-18, the prevalence of dietary supplement use increased in all age groups among US adults. So a higher level of dietary supplement use can contribute substantially to the nutrient intake in the United States. Potentially, this can be mitigating nutrient shortfalls as well as increasing, however, the risk of excessive intake, especially with high concurrent use of more or one product. So this is where you get into the minutia and the trickiness of supplements and looking at, if you're taking one supplement versus many, some take a lot more than 4, you can be overlapping and causing actually potentially high concurrent use of different nutrients. All right, so this was a study in breast cancer patients. They did a national survey of 115 clinical medical oncologists who treat breast cancer, and was conducted in the late 2020s. It was conducted in the late 2020 alongside a similar survey of 164 patients with breast cancer who had been diagnosed within 2 years of the survey. Nearly 3/4 of patients with breast cancer, about 73%, reported using at least one type of complementary medicine after cancer diagnosis, while surveyed oncologists believe that less than half, or 43% of patients, were using these approaches like supplements. So this is where there's a disconnect, even only a few years ago, of what patients may be reporting they're taking, especially things like supplements, and what oncologists believe they're taking or know they're taking. So it is very important, if you are taking a supplement, to be honest and open with your medical professionals, discuss with them what you're taking in detail so they can have a record and know what you're on. And in this study, the researchers found that 2/3 of oncologists and patients, so basically identical, believe that these complementary and lifestyle therapies improve patients' quality of life. So many patients also believe that these treatments led to better health outcomes. So it shouldn't be afraid of telling us what you're taking and how much, and discussing these with your medical professionals. All right, so let's go over some of the risks of taking supplements. So again, patients can be self-diagnosing or self-medicating and not have someone like myself, a naturopathic physician who specializes in this, or other professional that does, and they're getting things on the internet or looking on their online or on books or whatnot. Self-diagnosing and self-medicating can be problematic. Also, there is lack of monitoring or interactions or adverse effects when it comes to supplements. This is an area that needs to be improved, in my opinion. Prioritizing supplements with little research over medicines that have proven benefit is also very problematic, and risks associated with supplements. So some patients choose not to go to the doctor or don't want to be put on a medication and are choosing a supplement over a proven beneficial medication, which can unfortunately cause sometimes worse issues with a diagnosis or treatment, and delay effective treatment. Patients may be taking advantage also of spending their healthcare financial resources on supplements and not providing them with the most benefit. So sometimes you can get patients taking a plethora of different kinds of supplements, spending a lot of their financial resources on these supplements, and potentially be doing more harm than good. So it is important to be on supplements when they're appropriate, they're evidence-based, and you're either taking them under the monitoring of a professional, a healthcare professional is the ideal. So lack of awareness of any risks with supplements also can be problematic. when it comes to supplements. Supplements, just because they're natural, do not mean they're always safe. In general, they are, as a category, are much safer than medications. They have relatively low risks, maybe sometimes moderate, occasionally high. We'll get into this, but still lack of awareness of the risks is a problem, can be problematic. Also, lack of reporting supplements when asked, as we went over, for with their medical professionals, can be problematic. And patients may not always be compliant with recommendations by healthcare providers to discontinue supplements. There are patients who get very attached to taking supplements and may be taking them even when they're told to discontinue. Okay, so supplement regulations. Herbal medications are classified as dietary supplements in the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994. Under this law, herbal medications are exempt from the same safety and efficacy requirements as regulations as prescribed prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs. So the U.S. Food and Drug Administration assumes the burden of proof to show that an herbal medication is unsafe before it can be removed from the market. So this is very different than prescription medications, and they are not in the same universe when it comes to this. The testing of prescription medications is in a much different classification than supplements, and not all patients and not everybody understands this. So you can have a supplement on the shelf that has not gone under scrutiny by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They will usually have a little fine print on the bottles as well that they'll tell you that. So when it comes to safety, efficacy of herbal supplements, there's little assurance that products labels can provide accurate information. Potency can vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, and from even lot to lot of the raw materials that the manufacturers use. You can have potential contamination, sometimes with heavy metals, pesticides, microorganisms. Combination formulas may contain additional ingredients which may have harmful effects, or you can even have adulterated products that don't even have what's in them on the label. And a manufacturer does not have to prove the safety and effectiveness of a dietary supplement before it is marketed. So these are very different rules that go along with supplements versus prescription medicines. Some adverse effects. So the incidence and exact nature of adverse events really is unknown. The safety profiles are usually limited to animal studies, case reports, or predictions derived from known pharmacological actions of the supplements. Unfortunately, right now, there is no central mechanism for mandatory reporting, and physicians and healthcare providers do not always recognize adverse events associated with the use of herbal medicines. So this is a field that certainly, if there are extreme cases, someone takes a supplement, goes to the emergency room, God forbid, has serious side effects or passes away from taking something, which is rare. It has happened. This is where the FDA may step in or other authorities, but there's a lot that can go under, not be known or not be realized that unless there's a serious event. All right, so let's get into some of the science with this, and this may explain a little bit more, but also may relieve you, because some of the things I've mentioned here can be like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to take a supplement. So pharmacokinetics is the drug and drug-botanical interaction. So when we take in something, on the picture on the left, these are the organs that are involved with drug metabolism. So we have the liver, the kidneys, the stomach, the small intestines, and even parts in the blood. So botanicals or herbal medications can cause pharmacokinetic drug interactions by interfering with drug metabolizing enzymes in the liver. The liver most likely is the most predominant organ that deals with drug metabolism. However, the stomach and intestines can as well. Drug transporters in the kidneys, stomach, and intestines also can alter absorption, bioavailability, and also drug elimination from our body. And then there are also proteins in the blood that can alter drug distribution as well. So there's a lot of mechanisms associated with taking in herbal medications. These are the same mechanisms related with also prescription medications. So although the potential for drug-drug interaction must be investigated for all new drugs or pharmaceutical medicines, drug-botanical dietary supplement interactions are not mandatory, so they remain usually unexplored. The popularity of botanical dietary supplements worldwide makes this a particularly urgent issue, and drug-botanical dietary supplement interactions can include something called inhibition or induction. So when you talk about inhibition, induction, we'll get into this with the liver. This deals with those pathways and the metabolism of a drug or a supplement. So natural product dietary supplements, they might inhibit, whoops, sorry, my light went off. Hold on, here we go. Okay. They might inhibit or slow down or induce or speed up the enzymes in the liver responsible for the metabolism of a therapeutic agent or their transporters, and cause drug-botanical dietary supplement interactions. Certainly with this, you don't want to speed up or slow down a drug metabolism, and herbal medications or natural dietary supplements may or may not be able to do this. So when you have a drug-botanical dietary supplement interaction occur, the pharmacokinetics of the therapeutic agent thus can or may be altered. All right, so by inhibiting the action of a specific drug metabolizing enzyme, say through the liver, a natural product, say botanical dietary supplement, can prolong or extend the half-life of a drug. The half-life of a drug is how long it takes for it to be metabolized and eventually eliminated through your body. So by inhibiting this time, you're lengthening it, so that can prolong this half-life. Longer half-lives will result in prolonged action of that drug or even cause toxicity. So especially if drug levels rise unexpectedly after you take multiple doses. So this is where if you're taking some pharmaceutical medication and you're taking a botanical that could inhibit the pathway of its metabolism, you could have that drug become toxic, in theory. On the other hand, enzyme induction, or speeding up, would shorten that half-life and possibly result in a subtherapeutic level in the body. So if you're taking a medication and you're also taking a botanical medicine, but it induces or shortens the half-life, that therapeutic drug window of how long it's supposed to work in your body, say it was supposed to be working for 12 hours, now it could be down to 6. So the therapeutic action of that could be decreased. So an example or well-documented drug botanical dietary supplement interaction is that between St. John's wort and the drugs metabolized by this pathway in the liver called 3A4. So 3A4 is the most common liver enzyme pathway. And because 70% of drugs are substrates for this pathway, induction of this pathway or speeding up can lead to lower efficacy of many therapeutic agents. So this is where St. John's wort has been well studied and known to be an inducer of the pathway, which is something where it could significantly cause a pharmaceutical drug to not work as well. So some botanical dietary supplements have been shown in clinical trials to cause drug botanical dietary supplement interactions. However, the good news is these effectively are generally mild to moderate. So there are rare cases, but this trend most likely will continue with future investigations of drug interactions with the most popular botanical dietary supplements. So occasionally we do have these situations, as in the case of St. John's wort, where these drug interactions may prove to be significant. The question is which of these herbal medications can cause a significant interaction. You do have these outliers, but in general, if you were to take the large amount of supplements on the market, they're generally usually mild to moderate at best interactions. So that's the good news. So for botanical dietary supplements with a long history of use and are food without, with or without food without incidence, the risk for drug botanical dietary supplement interactions is likely to be low. So that's really pleasantly good news in general. We're always looking at this, but I didn't want to scare all of you saying, I'm never going to take a supplement again. So there are certainly outliers, and this is where we're always learning about new medicines, new supplements, new interactions. So it is a ever-changing field. It's not stable. It's quite well, it's always changing with new medicines coming out, new supplements, new strengths. It gets very complex. This was a list of some of the natural product supplements with no reported what's called preclinical or clinical drug interaction data. Now, just because there's no data does not mean they're free and clear, but in general, these were, when you have research, they're usually studying herbs in what's called a preclinical range or clinical. So you can have very big, large differences of if they're studying an agent with just cells or they're doing human trials. So sometimes we'll see in the research all these different interactions or different effects of these natural agents affecting cells, but once you look at human trials, it really isn't causing an interaction. So this was a list of some of them, some common ones. Here's another list. So as you can see, there's plenty of supplements that really are not much of a clinical drug interaction issue. All right, so in general, you want to have scientific evidence supporting recommendations. You want to obviously take supplements to replete deficiency. We'll go over a testing of how you can find out if you are low in supplements or as low in nutrients. Certainly you want to be able to take these and get your nutrients out of your food, but also to take these to prevent chronic disease. You do want to prevent a potential drug-induced deficiency as well. So there are medications that can cause vitamin deficiencies, such as common heartburn medications can over time cause you to have low vitamin B12. Co-management of a medical condition by a healthcare provider along with other treatments is usually a good way to help. Medicines are fantastic in helping with conditions, but also supplements may also be able to help in conjunction. You want to safely help treat a low-risk medical condition, potentially with just supplements, and manage symptoms of an established medical condition. You certainly can use these to help decrease side effects of a treatment, and also they may help you improve your quality of life. So when you want to test for nutrients or micronutrients, the general insurance labs are checking things through serum. So micronutrients, they play an important role in energy production, hemoglobin synthesis, maintenance of your bone health, adequate immune function, protection of the body against oxidative stress and cellular damage. So these antioxidants are crucial. So micronutrients would include vitamins, minerals, cofactors, amino acids, metabolites, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids. These nutrients are found in small amounts in your food, and these are essential for humans, especially the essential fatty acids, things like the omega-3s. So how do you really know what you may need? So there are other ways to do micronutrient testing. Now, when you go through an insurance regular lab, they can only do serum testing. So serum testing is different than intracellular. So micronutrient testing measures direct levels, and you can obviously track detect levels of extracellular serum or intracellular micronutrients. So this intracellular micronutrients can give an advanced provider the most complete and accurate picture of a patient's micronutrient status. They're tested through mass spectrometry, providing the highest accuracy of direct measures of the micronutrients in the serum and also within the cell. So that's very different than just doing a serum test through your regular lab. So, assessing absorption of nutrients at both the gastrointestinal barrier and cellular membranes by measuring both the extra and intracellular levels, in my opinion, is the best way really to objectively determine the root cause of a malnutrition of someone or inflammation. This view also can give differences between dietary, genetic, or other factors that impair nutrient metabolism and absorption. So there are other ways to test, and I'm not sure this is coming up, but this is a panel that this test will do of over 40 different nutrients. On the left is the extracellular, which is the more common serum test, and then the next to it is the intracellular. And these are either in the red blood cell or the white blood cell. And the test will give you graphical information and a number scale up to 100. And it'll give you if you're deficient, which would be in the red, if you're in the okay range, the yellow, and obviously the green is the optimal. So this is a sample report. This one's coming up in the 70s, or not really an optimal looking test here. And then they'll also give you what you're low or high in other ways and what foods may be able to help. And also give you whether it's in the cellular or in the serum. So I just wanted to present this as an information for patients. These are available through your practitioner potentially as well. All right, so bad supplements. So these are just generalities, but bad supplements may be sold via multi-level marketing. They may have exaggerated claims. They may be very expensive, potentially imported from other countries that may raise concerns. There are some herbal products from other countries like China that can be tainted with pesticides or other heavy metals or things. So you really don't want to expose yourself to those. And also the proprietary blends, herbal blends, sometimes you can get a problem with some of these being misleading or some bad supplements as a generality, not always. Some of the ugly ones, I'm not a real fan of these energy drinks. So they're hidden sources of caffeine. So usually if you find a supplement that has anything on there that says amped or energy or whatnot, or metabolism, usually they'll have caffeine. Because these are marketed as dietary supplements, they are exempt from most regulations. And the usual caffeine content of these drinks or energy drinks could be anywhere from 80 to even higher than 140 milligrams. Some have double than that. Also, they can contain herbal hidden sources of caffeine like kolanut, yerba mate, guarana, green tea. So caffeine can be, in extreme cases, deadly. There are cases of certainly overdosing on caffeine. We already went over St. John's wort. That's one I would highly recommend staying away from because it can induce the liver pathways and potentially cause the medications you're taking to be ineffective, like blood pressure medicines or cholesterol or other things. Supplements also with high risk for toxicity. These you may not have heard of, but there's cesium chloride that can cause problems with your electrolyte balance, resulting in heart arrhythmias. There's a supplement called Bloodroot, which can cause tissue erosion. Patients have used this on their skin and caused wounds. Chaparral is an herb that can cause liver toxicity. Colloidal silver, there are some of those that can cause permanent skin discoloration and turn your skin blue. Also, that can potentially cause possible neurological or kidney damage. So just because supplements are natural, there are ones, again, you're looking at more extreme cases, not general, but there are ones that can be dangerous. These are some resources that you can use to look into the research of supplements, also testing of supplements. So the NCCAM gives good information about herbs. There's a database called the Natural Database Therapeutic Research. These are created by pharmacists and evidence-based websites that's constantly updating, very user-friendly. It is, however, a paid subscription. There is examine.com, which is an independent organization that presents unbiased research on supplements and includes citations, so that's free as far as I know. And Consumer Lab, this is another paid one, but this is an independent research or consumer, it's an independent lab, and they'll independently source and document their findings on supplement quality. Other oncology supplement databases, there's Memorial Sloan Kettering. They have an excellent site about herbs and the database and evidence-based information about herbs, botanicals, and supplements. There's the American Cancer Society website as well, or the National Cancer Institute of Complementary and Alternative Medicine. And the Society of Integrative Oncology is also an excellent site, gives a lot of good information about integrative oncology and guidelines. So in conclusion, there's a significant number of patients self-medicating using supplements. Adverse effects as well as drug interactions, they can occur with herbal medications as well as other supplements. So education of the healthcare provider on safety, adverse effects, and interactions of supplements is crucial. And patients may be more compliant with recommendations about managing supplements if provided with education to become better informed consumers. So I'm usually myself educating patients about what they may need either through lab testing to get objective data about really what they're deficient in, or giving them these resources of education about the evidence behind certain supplements. Again, I'm always counseling patients on interaction potential, which ones we know could cause serious interactions, which ones may not be as much to worry about. And I'm also always guiding patients about really what has evidence and really what conventional treatment has treatment that's proven that they should be considering over supplements. Supplements are not always the treatment you want to be doing in lieu of conventional treatments. Ideally, if you can integrate both, that would be an ideal state. And I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.